This is going to be a Lyran light activation. One of the gifts of the Lyran being is healing the memory body. That has to do with the healing and clearing of the bloodline, the healing, the clearing of the lineage, the healing, the clearing of the DNA, the healing, the clearing of the Akashic record of a person, the Akashic record of a planet. So light activation is used through sound, through frequency, through resonance. And that resonance can be transmitted and received through the heart, the throat, the navel, the whole chakra system. The whole chakra system. And there are many ways you can create light. Many ways we can create light, but it's the resonance, right? It's the frequency. So it's the frequency of the word, like Sanskrit, right? It is the frequency of the Sanskrit that creates this resonance that unlocks higher energy. So this is a part, this light activation belonging to the Lyran civilization goes all the way to the Isis lineage in ancient Egypt. And this mystic school, many individuals have participated in. And this mystic school basically encompasses all the spiritual lineages that we have on this planet, the indigenous people, all across this planet. The ancient Egyptians basically encompassed there was a pretty well-renowned practice at this ancient Egyptian civilization. So the Isis that mystic school, again, teach you about the chakras, the 10 bodies, teach you about the astral realm, teach you about the earth plane, teach you about dimensions, teach you basically how to vibrate the cosmos, right? And teach you the light activation, light initiation, and basically how that manifests in reality and how that transforms and how that shifts, and how you can shift your resonance, you can shift your vibration to have a more profound experience on earth, and how to travel, right? How to travel through earth, and how to travel through the spiritual realm, how to travel through the fifth dimension. And the whole practice is based off of what spiritually grows, materially shows, and they understood that. The Isis lineage practiced that, and that Isis lineage also is connected to Mary Magdalene. It's also connected to White Buffalo Woman. It's also connected to Kuan Yin, and again, these different geographic regions, different times, there's different timestamps, but they're all a part of this kind of, we call secret society of the femme consciousness working with the goddess principles. And the goddess principle is not just women, it's the femme consciousness. That's not just about again, there's a lot working with the female body, right, with the womb and the womb blessing and the yoni movement, that celestial sort of communication a woman has. But the goddess is different than when we think the word God. There's a lot of agendas wrapped up in that word God through thousands of years of it being kind of, tossed around in all kinds of different ways, and for different agendas, and for all kinds of sort of ideas, right, ideologies and associated with that. The goddess is different. The goddess is very much connected to the Lyran civilization. The goddess with the Lyran civilization is very much about the creative life force. So that's about the raising of the Kundalini. So when we think of God, a lot of us think of God can be through the Holy Bible, right? Which is different than the Lyran being. They see the goddess is the raising of the Kundalini, right? The raising of the consciousness, which has to do with vibrating the cosmos. It's actually a technology, right? It's a technology that you have, like you are a time space machine, your body, right, your aura, right, and it was more of like a yogic science than it was like the way we relate to it in the Holy Bible when we think of the word God. So the goddess is more of like you're learning a technology, right? So this was a very this time very wealthy, right? People, there's a lot of wealth associated with this technology, and that's why for thousands of years, 12,000 years, it has been banned and many banned on this planet. A lot of this Isis lineage, with Mary Magdalene, Kuan Yin, a lot of these sort of practitioners were sort of buried, in they were kind of, get a little paragraph on them, or they were kind of, they were sort of buried under, kind of, put to the side type of thing, right? They weren't really, they weren't, what they were practicing wasn't really shared. It was, withheld from the public what was really going on, right? So, and the reason for the reason it was banned is because this technology, in many originally it was given as a gift to humans to help humans gain, liberate and gain their independence during times of, oppression, and during times of conflict, or during times of crises, during times of collapse or extinction, or during difficult times. This technology was used for human excellence. But in that human excellence, there has been rivalries between groups of human with other groups of humans, and then there has been sort of these kinds of these kind of ego battles that we have done, right, over these human excellence. So kind of withholding this technology has basically you're taking out the potential competitors, right? Because it gives you creative edge, right? When you have this technology, this time space continuum, right, machine that you are, and your aura and your intelligence and your heart, and having that understanding. So a lot of us don't have that understanding, right? Even talking about it seems quite, right, almost forbidden, right? And that's why a lot of us don't talk about this particular area, because it's very forbidden in this world. But in the, other places, it's not. It's a normal life, right, to have this technology with your mind, body, spirit, right? It's just a normal day. So this raising the Kundalini, raising of the consciousness, is called the goddess frequency. And basically you're vibrating the cosmos, right? And there's different ways you can vibrate the cosmos, and you are vibrating the cosmos in many forms, right? Through sound, through frequency, through resonance, and the overall resonance of you really is that sort of we call the manifesting in the fifth dimension is what we really do, what spiritually grows materially shows. So in the fifth dimension, that's where a lot of work is done, and that's why a lot of in the Isis lineage, there's a lot of meditation, there's a lot of work, spiritual work, that is done in a higher vibrational field, because in that there's a sort of a higher, it's almost time sped up, there's a higher energy, it's a faster energy, and in that fifth dimension, that is where that's that particular vibrational state, that resonance state, we call even that hertz, that voltage, that is the sort of that is where everything kind of comes into place in this fifth dimension. So, in this mystic school, we work a lot with particular mantras that connect you with that fifth dimension, because you're meant to visualize and construct it in this fifth dimension, and what spiritually grows materially shows. And then in this third dimension, you'll start to see it. You'll start to see it materialize. That's kind of how it works. You manifest it in the fifth dimension, and then it materializes in the third dimension. But a lot of us on this planet, in this dark age, we've had the fifth dimension has been blocked, right? And there's all kinds of agendas with that. It was blocked from us, right? Because when we're not accessing this fifth dimension, and we're not connecting with this higher vibration, and we're not putting that into the physical body, our physical body is not getting the proper resonance, right? You need a lot of creative life force to move the time space, right? To move your time space machine, right? So think of the fifth dimension as your creative life force, right? That raising the kundalini, right? And you need that to move your time space machine, right? It's a machine. It needs, right, higher energy. And this is more of we call this as a magic energy, we can say. And we talk about synchronicity, we talk about astrology, cosmology, all of that's kind of this sort of earth magic. And when you're kind of blocked to it, and you don't have that connection to higher energy, to your creative life force, the raising the kundalini, the raising consciousness, your the time space machine, you need to have that vision, right? And you need that vision. That's the thing. You need that vision. And that's why we connect with the fifth dimension, because it gives us that vision, right? And when we have the vision, we have the intuition, we have the protection, right? And then things begin to materialize, and then we begin to kind of work it out in our life, right? We begin to work it out and have the higher energy to be able to clear out the karma, cleanse the karma, heal the karma, and begin to really experience the rising out of the ashes, because every human being is rising out of the ashes, right? But to rise out of the ashes, out of the red flame of jealousy and greed and anger and upset, and and come out of the red flame as ashes turning into a blue bird, right? That visualization is very symbolic for the raising of the kundalini, the raising of the raising of the consciousness, but also the liberating of yourself, right? Because there's different experiences on this planet, there's different dimensions, but this fifth dimension is what we call the prosperity and what we call lineage. And that is again, the red fire is like the anger, the jealousy, the greed, the poverty, the subconscious traumas, the sexual traumas, but the sort of the ashes is kind of the cooling it. And then we want to get into the white flame. The white flame is what we talk about, the coming into soul embodiment. That's about getting the vision, right? Getting the healing. And this healing is your creative life force, right? The healing is the harmonization you have with your soul, right? With your spirit, in the sort of infinity, in the Akashic record of it. So that's kind of with this Isis lineage, kind of it's what we're working on with that particular technology, with the light code, like light activation. And light activation, again, it's an activation. So it's activating the light. So, science has shown we emit biophoton, and basically that's light emitting. You're emitting light. And when you create a lot of chi, you have a lot of energy that emits a light, like orbs, right? There's a lot of orbs around you, right? When you do like qigong or tai chi or kundalini yoga, that create a lot of chi in the system, a lot of chi in the aura, a lot of chi, right? um, that shows up as you start to have this people have this glow, right, this radiance around them, or this light, and this light around them. That's that biophoton emission, we can say. And that's what a light activation is. You can do that through the Reiki, right? You can transmit through the Reiki energy, the Reiki pathway, which will, like Qigong, Tai Chi, it will raise the Kundalini, raise the consciousness, and it will really unlock a deeper energy, a deeper energy in you, a deeper creative energy. And that's what the light's language is as well. So the Lyran beings, just briefly, how they're connected to the Isis lineage is they both, a lot of the Lyran beings have also, you'll see connected to the Isis lineage as well. A lot of them actually were founders of this particular practice, right? Or not founders, but they were kind of facilitators of this practice, right? The founders go way beyond this planet Earth when it comes to the actual technology. Actually, nobody found it. It's kind of universal technology. It's just refined through many teachers in a whole arc and a whole sort of chain, a gold chain of teachers that just goes on and infinitely in different planets and all everywhere. But a lot of them were facilitators. And the Lyran beings, which you can go to my first video, which is the Lyran being activation, and you can get a thorough sort of study of the Lyran being. But basically, the Lyran being, they facilitated a lot of this Isis lineage throughout time, in the way that they basically holders of these teachings, as they were holders of a lot of these teachings, of personal power, of leadership. That's all this stuff, the goddess frequency, how to vibrate the cosmos using mantra, using sort of gong or healing therapy, sound therapy. Again, when it taught you of the actual medicine, right, medicine of the body, right, how the system works. Again, you are a time-space machine. It's like you need to know how it works, right? A lot of the Lyran beings, Lyran beings they want to learn. They're very old souls, right? And they're connected to the Isis lineage in the way that the goddess, when we think of Isis, we think of the goddess, the mother of all mothers, right? And the Lyran beings are considered the mothers of all mothers in the way that they're considered the primal creative force that integrated, because they're well integrated in almost every, can think of civilization, or have some sort of study or knowledge of all of them, experience of all of many their Sacha record is vast on this sort of different civilizations, right? So I just wanted to share that. And they also, the Lyran beings, again, when you go even research for yourself, you're going to see ancient Egypt, you're going to see, these big eyes, they have these big almond-shaped eyes, like Native American eyes slash, sort of feline eyes, right? These Egyptian, alluring, big sort of oval, sort of almond-shaped eyes, right? And you'll see them have this very profound presence, right? They kind of have this goddess presence, right? That's why they're associated with Egypt a lot of times. Their skin can be very honey, can be very brown, right? And they are very electromagnetically bright and radiant, right? It's like you can feel into their resonance that they know how to use their time-space machine. So I'm going to give you some light language from the root chakra. So again, the Lyran beings, they know multiple languages, more languages than we have on planet Earth. They have many, many, many languages, and the Lyran beings, they go from different languages. It's almost like speaking Spanish, French, German, Italian, all in one paragraph. Like, it's that kind of complex and dynamic. There's resonance in their sort of frequency of their sort of range and depth of their sound therapy, because their music, they are sound therapy. When I think of Lyran beings, I think of, in the Isis lineage, I think of the knowledge of sound therapy, right? Sound therapy, when it comes to, they would tune their voice and create these particular resonance that would send these codes to different areas in the body. For example, a particular hum or particular word would trigger something in the kidney to heal the kidney, right? It would trigger the cell in the kidney heal, or the heart tissue heal. Like, they even would have the breast, right? They would even have the hands, like they would even, the nervous system, right? They would have the eye, the optic nerve. They would have the tongue. They had all these particular, we can see like binaural beats, or these particular sound therapy frequencies that they would transmit into the body, and it would penetrate like a sonic wave kind of thing. But we think of it as sonic waves, radar, like kind of very kind of deadly in many ways. But it's a sort of it kind of goes into the body, and it sends a signal, a light activation, to heal the tissue, or heal the muscle, or heal the bone, or heal the nervous system. And it would be applied daily, right? And people would do that with their own self. So that's what light activation is. Just like Sanskrit is very similar to, it gives you this sort of, it activates your cellular DNA. It activates the mind. It activates pathways in the mind. It activates the negative mind, the neutral mind, positive mind, to kind of sort of recalibrate and restructure the mind, so that you can so that you're basically working your time-space machine, right? You're learning how to work it, right? Like how to navigate it, right? How to use it, right? For to get you where you need to go. So Inaishi hahen haheshi hanuesi akinaishia he handi isu akanui andia he soe soeaha akinaishi iba hinake saha Unduishia undukai ni kanisi hi hasi akani hi saho atina ushui and e asa andiasi ando he asa akua he ka esha indesa ndo inahi atu ishinawe a Kahusi inauisi mande atushi awe a. Ku isi baena shi hue haita an. Kueta ea chu itashi hande I ando so. Kui ha hendia undu shua handea. Akani shinga e be atushi nawe. Nawe iti sai kani dio. Akandi toi enda e shinui inda. Ono shinui e shina ikisimondi enda. Akani shina e si ane e ushina u undiga. Atai sino hihinda ikandusi andorigina ti a shiuta inawea. Hantika sinoe achu ane sanle tu kandashi. Asino e hande eti santu I. Asitando ita esha untusu. Kani itu simane esante o ukusina eta ushie. A shina esa oi andishiga eta. Ashigani akai tundi esambandia. Akue na esa heshiwi handi sunda e pandis. Akawe na esha andushiku asan. Hena ishua eda isi ande andu. Akoe mane sa eta otasa. Akone ishi awe nawe sa haya. Anoe haheita ushi anoe tasi. Ahi uho hindi esi. Onde ahea shi a. Nikane sinu usinue hatia. Anduesha etau unuhusa ahesanda. Era nisikune wata ishinoe. Nika suita eka winda ushande aka. Onde ande he yashui aha. Ande ahu e hai ande. Ande ahu e hashi e ai. Ande shuno e handi ahanu. Ande ai aushai nawe. Ande aue ya, ande aue ya. Ande aue ya, ande aue. Ande ashie ashandue ya hea. Ande ashie andue ya. Ande ashie ya, ande ashie ya. Ande ashue ta hia onde. Ande ahe ashani awe. Ande ashie ya, ande ya. Ande awe ashie awe. Handi ashie ya, handi ahawe. Handi kae ashida. Andue a e asande ya. Onde ashi a I ande eka. Onde ashue ata. Andika sihu di andi. Ashi undi asawe tasu. Hu hisanea esa on tishiwe. Tishiwe ashunu itasi anduika. Andue nasi ate ashi anduikae. Ashua hisinanti asuti anti siwati. Ande asiawe, asiawe, siwae. Ande ashiawe, awe. Ande ashiawe, awe. Ande ashiawe, awe. Ande ashiawe, awe. Ande ashie. Handi ashie, handi ashie, handi ashie, handi ashie, handi ashie. Kashianti ahu Esea han. Asewa he. Akanti hoshu hati antu aku asi antu hashiwa henda hashiwanti sa hun toku asi hun ta esa wesa huntis hanta akuchi hasindo wa akiesa antu uisha handikaisa hue hue hue. So that was a light activation from the Lyran beings. You could feel the kind of tribal, very earthy, very shamanistic, very sensual language, very expressive, very commanding. Now pull a card from the Goddess Guidance Oracle, and I'm going to pull 2 cards, what the Lyran beings want to express through these cards as a direct message to you all who are drawn to this. Maybe you believe yourself to be a Lyran being, connect with me, channel through me the great message that can help those who will watch this come into their creative life force. The main message they're saying is creative life force. If you want to connect with the Lyran being, this old soul, this temple of the Assachic Accord, where the Assachic Accord, the soul contracts, the soul agreements are like a council, like a house where these are held, like the Lumerian scrolls are held. So if you want to connect with the Lyran being, it's through the personal power. And when you start to tap into your personal power, when you start to tap into your fearlessness, that's when you really tap into the deathless breath of the Lyran being, which is this becoming like this blue bird. I'm seeing this blue bird, which is the resurrection of your soul in the physical form, which they are masters of resurrecting the soul in the physical body. When we talk about the Siri, the Isis lineage, which again is connected to Sirius, they have an understanding of how to resurrect the soul in the body, even after death, how to connect the soul to different dimensions, how to view the soul as the soul is leaving the physical body, how to retrieve the soul, bring the soul into the physical body during pregnancy or even in death. And that blue bird, you see that blue bird, blue bird, and it really represents it represents you coming into the death, birth, rebirth, and resurrection of your psychic accord, that psychic accord. So we have go outside and sensitivity. We have you have been indoors too long, go outside and get some fresh air. So we're really looking at the moon in these pictures, the flowers, the ocean. We're seeing the moon, so stargazing, bathing in the stars, dancing in the stars, connecting with the ocean while gazing at the stars, the flowers, connecting with the elemental realm, which is the nature, connecting with the flowers. Is really going to enhance the connection to the earth and the information this Lyran being is connected in the earth. It's in the cellular memory of the earth. And the earth has the Assachic knowledge of these beings. It's just a matter of tapping in, right? Almost like you plug in your, right? You got to plug in. You have to plug into the earth, into the deeper earth. There's different layers. In the deeper earth, you're going to experience quite profound memories. They're saying these are coming through as memories. You will have memories of these beings come to you as leaders. They will come to you as protectors. They will come to you as guardians. They will come to you in a very strong movement. There's a strong power. They will come to you with the power in them. The solar plexus will be activated. Then we have white Tara, sensitivity. You are becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. So this is about the white Tara is the sensitivity. This is about recognizing your sensitive body and nurturing more your sensitive body, which we don't. We don't nurture our sensitive body. We don't really pay attention to our sensitive body, and then when our sensitive body gets out of whack, we don't quite understand why. It's because that sensitivity is connected to the earth, our ability to feel and receive the memory of our soul. So when we block that sensitivity, the channeling of the information from the earth gets obscured. It gets kind of like delusion. It kind of becomes like distorted, and it becomes more sort of it gets kind of confused, right? So the sensitivity is also like really surrounding yourself with the fresh air, the wind of the trees, the wind of the seas, the wind of the moon, you can say, right? The kind of the stars, the wind of the magnetic dance of the stars. And I feel like with these cards, there is, in connecting with the Lyran being, with the creative life force, is also connecting with your dreams that you have, the symbolism of your dreams, also the daydreams, and also the visions that you have. The white Tara, this is really about the purification, the cleansing of you, and how we can really better cleanse, like children, is kind of laying on the grass, rolling in the grass. When it comes to the ocean, when it comes to the sort of surrendering ourselves to this, the land, right? Surrendering ourselves to this earthy element within us. This is about also connecting with the moon. This is actually like connecting with the moon actually by going outside and looking at it, and just letting your intuition clear. For some of you, staring at the moon will also clear your intuition. The fresh air, the moon air, I'm hearing moon air, will help you to clear just your sense. It will help you clean your sensitive body, and just you'll start to feel more clear in the information that's coming through, because the Lyran beings, they come through in the light activation. So when we talk about the light of the moon, even the color of the roses, the flowers, the light of the light healing, this sort of sound therapy is in the nature, right? The most organic sound therapy is in the nature, the humming of the nature, the sort of frequency these trees emit. You can feel it. The trees are emitting frequency. These sounds of animals, birds, they're emitting frequencies, and the more you tune into that, the more you're going to start to step into your intuition. You're going to start to really learn how to become more symbolic. And I feel like they're saying to become more symbolic is to learn how to decipher these visions and learn how to interpret these visions, and start to really enhance these visions over time. So that is the message, and thank you, Satnam.